So here's the next project truck. We're just pulling shit out of the weeds at this point that we have around here. See if we can resurrect or not. It's hydrolocked, which you'll see in another little bitty clip that I have. But I don't think it's done any damage yet. So we're gonna pull it in the shop. Pull the valve cover off on the passenger side. Throw a new injector in there. I'm hoping to see a cracked injector. So it'd be real simple. We pulled the back two glow plugs on the, let's see, passenger side, so that'd be what, 5 and 7, and it shot shit out of number 7. So hoping that's all it is, because it actually, with those two glow plugs out, we tried to crank it by the ignition because I wanted to see if it would spray any more fuel. It actually started on 6 cylinders, so I'm hoping that's a good sign. I'm hoping that the connecting rod's not bent. The theories out there is that the starter's not hard enough to bend one, and it did not make a revolution with the starter. It would just go to a spot and just bam. So I'll throw that little video in here. You'll see what it was like. Anyway, this is our next project. We'll see how it goes. So right now our main numbers before we start it with the key on, I was wanting to make sure we have good Fickum power, and we got a minimum 48 volts, so we'll see if it'll fire here in just a second. All right, so we're gonna prime the fuel system about 4, 5, 6 dozen times. Yep. Give it about 30 seconds each time. I can still hear it. Moment of truth. Alright, so here's where we're at on this 2007 F250 Powerstroke. We thought it was going to be just a real easy fix and just replace one of the injectors back there where it hydrolocked. Well, pulling that out, it just looked nasty. Pulled out a couple more injectors and they're so plugged up you can't even see the hole in them for the fuel sprays. So I've just decided we're just going to replace all the injectors. Then pulled out a couple more glow plugs and they were very white and crispy, so I'm going to replace all the glow plugs as well, replace the harnesses, and see if we can make this thing run really well. We did pull compression test on all 8, and everything is between 410 and 440 psi, so that's a really good sign, pretty healthy. I saved y'all all the boringness of pulling everything apart. We're down to where we need to be. We have all the injectors already pulled right here. I believe they're all going to be good for cores. Shouldn't be a problem. Got all the glow plugs out. You can see That one right there is just real crispy. I don't feel like putting that back in there when it's $100 for all 8 of them. So anyway, our next step is to pull the intake off, because we're going to pull the EGR cooler and we're going to see if we can clean it, or if it needs to be replaced, or what we're going to do. Truck might go on a diet, I'm not sure yet. But when we did pull the EGR valve, it was super caked with soot, and that's the only code that this truck had, was EGR valve not opening properly. So one way or the other, we've got to clean it, replace it, do something with it. But we're gonna go ahead and go down to our local shop, get some new injectors, or reman anyway, get some new glow plugs, get the new IPR screen, and then hopefully start going back together with it, and hopefully it runs this time. I don't know, we'll see what happens. So right now we're taking the intake off of this truck, so that way we can get down to the EGR and clean the intake, clean the EGR. So here's where we're at. We've got the oil and fuel bowl gone, working on getting all the bolts out of the intake. Still have the manifold or the valve cover off on both sides, that way we can put new injectors in. And went down yesterday and got all the parts for it. Shout out to Delco Diesel that had everything in stock. Got all 8 injectors, 8 glow plugs, new IPR screen. And I know a lot of you guys are going to frown upon I'm not using Motorcraft. This is all Alliant parts, and they assured me that Ford actually uses Alliant as well. I'm not that worried about it. They have a 1-year unlimited mile warranty on them. They don't stay in business if they have issues all the time. I'm gonna go with it. And like I said, they had everything in stock. I didn't have to order anything. Their prices were great. Their remans, so that way they've got new spool valves, they've got all new O-rings, they're dressed and everything. So getting ready to pull the intake off. So Pop's got all the wiring pulled up out of the way, zip tied out of the way. Fuel and oil lines zip tied up out of the way. I think the intake's ready to pull out now. Alright, so this is take 2. We totally forgot to pull the turbo and everything out, so last night Pop's got the turbo out. He already got the intake out. He's got everything out that we needed to. He's just been cleaning, and he cheated, used the cherry picker to pull the turbo out. And then we've got the intake over here drying, because we actually took the intake out, set it over where we can power wash it, and degreasered it and everything, make it a little bit cleaner when it goes back in. There's the EGR that came out. So our next step is waiting till tomorrow for a bunch of the parts and gaskets that I've ordered. This is just going to be an off-road truck. I don't even know if we're going to tag it. Our goal right now is just to get it running. Like I said, we're going to wait on the injectors too until we have the intake and turbo back in there, so that way the valve covers are definitely not going to come into play and be in the way. But as of right now, it's torn down as far as it needs to be, and we will start going back together as soon as the other parts come in. So I'm still hoping that it's going to run. So here's where we're at on the truck. Pops worked late yesterday. We got the intake put on, turbo put on, and today we're going to work on putting the injectors in, and then putting the new, put the oil rails back on, and put the new standpipes and dummy plugs in. And one more day closer to firing this up. So we're making sure to lube every O-ring best we can. And we did make sure to blow out every hole with air pressure to make sure there was no residual oil that was going to affect our torque specs. And we are running these all the way down to 30 foot-pounds. You read in the book and any of the old specs, it shows anywhere from 24 to 26, but then you can look up for any updated specs that shows all the way from 28 to 31 foot-pounds. So we kind of decided just to go with an even 30. I know that this was probably not what everybody else would do. It's probably not what master mechanics would do, but it's what we're doing. So, I'll let you know if they don't hold. So the intake's all bolted down, torqued down. Got the oil manifolds back on both sides. Got those torqued down to 10 foot-pounds. Got the standpipes and dummy plugs and new updated ones in. Got those torqued down to 60 foot-pounds. Things are coming along. Just some advice that we found that was helpful. Take the inner fender wells out of both sides, especially on the passenger side, because it'll help you get to some of these lower bolts if you had to. For some of y'all it's probably easier from the top, but this can definitely give you some access, and you nearly have to be able to get the glow plugs out and back in. So one step closer. So we're getting closer. Right now it's just a matter of all the little stuff. Put the charge tubes back on, the wiring back on, hook up the degas bottle, and just little BS, tighten up, tidy up. We'll see if it'll start later. So we're ready to the point to try and pressure up the oil rails, all the oil system. We're going to do that with the hot wire under the hood before we turn the key on. After that, after we cycle it multiple times, then we're going to go ahead and put the fuse back in for the fuel pump and try and pressure up the fuel system several times with the key on, key off situation. And it'll be the moment of truth. See if it'll actually fire. So first off, we're going to pressure up the oil system. It's like taking about 2 seconds at a time. So what we're about to do now is we've cycled the fuel pump. Everything should be pressurized, and if we had any injector issues, we should know now. So we're going to turn the key off, and we're going to try and heat the starter up again from under the hood. We're going to try and just rotate it slowly to make sure we don't have any hydrolock symptoms still. So y'all heard that. It's been rotating all the way around freely with fuel pressure. So our next, I guess, thing we're going to try is actually see if it'll start. We're going to let the batteries charge again for just a moment, and we'll be back. Alright guys, moment of truth. We're going to see if it actually does anything this time. Go ahead, Pops. Started. There's just some little residual smoke back there, but it sounds pretty good. Hey, come here. Hey, radio. Here's all of our numbers at idle. I'm not a tech, but I think it's all right. So we've got the truck out, following it right now. And there is no smoke at the moment, which is interesting because the other day when we first fired it up there was, and we haven't driven it since to be able to get any of the air bled out of the oil system. But I'm not going to argue and be disappointed. So we're just driving it right now to try and purge the rest of the air out of the oil. After that, everything should be done good. So we just got back on our first test run with it. All the smoke is now gone. I think we got all the air bled out of the fuel system and the oil system. Everything sounds perfect, normal, healthy. Not an ounce of smoke. Smells perfect. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to shut it off and see how easily it starts up, see if we got all the air out. Here's a restart. Started up quick and easy. Still no smoke. I just got to get some new batteries for it. These batteries are like 7 years old and they don't hold very long, so anyway, next up on the list is to clean it. I gotta get a new bed for it. Interior, gonna clean it. We'll keep on moving with it. so it's been a minute since we worked on this truck. We've had other projects and stuff going on, but it's finally done. And the end product is not bad for what we started with. And I'll try and post some pictures of what we started with to show you. But here she is. It looks like a pickup again. I was trying to find another bed or a flatbed for this truck because this fender right here, you can see some of the body wrinkle and stuff. It had a blowout previous to us and actually folded that fender under, but we did some redneck fabbing, if you will. Pulled it back out, beat it out as straight as we could. We're no PDR or body guys. Sanded it down and painted it to make it look a little more presentable. But overall, I think the truck came out great. We buffed it, threw a little wax on it, tire shine, and man, it looks great. As you might have seen earlier in the video, the driver's seat was all ripped up and looking pretty crappy, but we replaced the seat cushion, seat cover, so it looks like $1 million. Cleaned it up. I think it looks great for what we started with. Truck runs amazing. It got a whole slew of new parts. So we replaced injectors, replaced glow plugs, replaced glow plug harness, both of them. We replaced seat cover and cushion. We did all new fuel filters. We did oil filter, new synthetic 1540 oil. Did a EGR delete while we were in that deep. Other than that, the engine is bone stock, never had a tuner, not studded, none of that. Doesn't have any blow by. It doesn't smoke, doesn't use any coolant, doesn't push any coolant out of the degas bottle. We ended up replacing the carrier bearing. We replaced the rear companion flange, replaced the rear U-joint. It had a little vibration and a clunk whenever you would accel and decel. All of that remedied, gone. We re-greased the slip yoke because that's a common problem on these. All of the cylinders compression tested out to 420 to 440, which is great. Truck only has 138,000 miles, so haven't decided if we're going to keep it, use it, or if we're just going to sell it. But nevertheless, just wanted to show you the finished product, and I'm pretty pleased with it. So I'll try and post some other pictures of when we started on it to what it is now, because I think it's night and day. So anyway, if you like this video, I guess like everybody else says, subscribe, like it, share it, comment. If you see something that we did wrong or have any insight or have any questions on what we did or why we did. Yeah, I see I keep cutting my forehead off, but that's all right. I would love to interact with you guys, get some opinions. Have a vehicle y'all want us to do next. I know we do a lot of just random stuff, and it's just me trying to make a channel, I don't know, visible, and just working on projects that we already have, not having to go out and buy something to use. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. See you guys soon.